And joining us to talk about these politics behind the scene of these issues is Godbless Otubure, Global President, ready to lead Africa. Good afternoon. Glad to have you join me.
Thank you for having me today.
All right. Now, what do you think the political landscape in Nigeria, how do you think the political landscape in Nigeria influenced the government's approach to addressing the country's ailing economy, particularly for the year 2023?
Well, I mean, when you, in retrospect, just look back the year politically in the country and how the political economy affected what government was doing. Clearly, the removal of subsidy, the approach to the removal was clearly almost looking like it was ill thought. There were no proper plans in terms of how would we face the sort of cushion the effect of this removal, and of course you realize that the removal happened just from an ad-lib that was not contained in the speech of the president that was being sworn in on that day. So you remember that also caused a lot of uncertainties in how people approach the issue, especially with regards to the subsidy removal. But of course, we had a very tenuous political economy, a political space that led to the emergence of the president. And of course, those were some of the things that influenced, his decision making in terms of how he made some pronunciations or some pronouncements.
Okay, let me just jump in there, Godbless. Talking about decision making, what's your take on timing in terms of implementation of economic policies? For instance, the introduction of the new Naira note prior to the general elections.
I mean, that was almost very, I want to use the word ill-thought, right? Now we are hearing that it wasn't entirely the decision of the former president, that it was the former president's nephew who suggested to the then CBN governor that the Naira note be redesigned, and the timing was really awful, and it was evident in the problems that came with the rollout. So everybody who saw the redesign and the rollout of that policy knew that there was trouble ahead, and it was clearly a misguided, decision to redesign the Naira. I mean, if it was to curtail fake Naira notes in circulation, or the decisions were not really far-fetched. And then, of course, the hardship that it brought to Nigerians was just unimaginable. The policy was clearly not well thought out and not well implemented as well.
Now, when we talk about economic challenges, what role do you think political leaders play in fostering cooperation for, initiatives aimed at revitalizing the economy?
So one of the things we must realize in terms of, the society and its leaders, I can tell you for free now that our research that we're carrying out in different MDAs, agencies, and governments in general, is that Nigerians have very low trust threshold for government. So when people don't trust those that they have elected to serve them, policies are not approached with a lot of trust and enthusiasm. So the relationship between what political leaders do and how citizens, approach policies and initiatives from government is critical. So I'm saying to Nigerian politicians now, stop lying, start doing the things that you say you will do, because that is the only way Nigerians would develop trust again and believe that what you say will be done. Because right now you see government roll out initiatives, people are deliberately avoiding them, even though it is for their best interest. Guess what? They will tell you, I beg, beg that thing I like. Government know they work, good. Even though you realize that there are some of these initiatives that are supposed to benefit Nigerians. So that is actually the problem.
Now, God bless, in what ways do you think the economic crisis, influenced the priorities and policy agenda of political leaders in Nigeria in the year 2023?
Well, especially when you look at our economic crisis and how that influenced, let us say we're talking about the federal government right now. Of course, you guys are not new to the whole crisis that the former CBN governor put the country through, and the former president. With the 23 trillion rather, ways and means printing of the naira that is now being regarded as a debt by the former, National Assembly, and all of that money is even the investigator of the CBN said the officials could not even account for more than 9 trillion of that money and how it was spent. It tells you a lot of trouble. So when you have a new president coming into office, realizing how bad we have gone in terms of our borrowing, the mismanagement of our financial resources, we had a finance minister that really was not really, super. Monetary policies and fiscal policies were not top of the conversations we're having. It was just about borrowing and borrowing. So I believe that the negative threshold where the economy was, impacted the president's decisions from day one. And I agree that some of those hard decisions were necessary to be made. So have we also analyzed states at the state level and local government level to see what political leaders were doing and how the economy influenced their decisions? Those are ongoing research that we're carrying out. But in terms of the president, I actually believe that our negative economic outlook influenced a lot of the decisions that the president made.
Now, talking about presidency, to what extent has the economic downturn, influenced public opinion and political sentiments towards the ruling party or even government officials?
Well, I mean, the downturn, how has that influenced Nigerians towards the ruling APC or the governing APC, like I would say, or the party in power? Because governance is another kettle of fish. It's negative. Nigerians don't think the APC has performed well right now, and of course, they know that you have record inflation, petrol prices off the roof. We still have kidnappings happening, randomly across the country, insecurity. You have companies that are leaving the country because of harsh economic, environment. And then the recent, revelation of fake products that have flooded the Nigerian market. So I would say anybody who is advising the APC right now, and everybody and Nigerians who are observing what the APC is doing at the national level and across most of the states, it's not positive. Then there needs to be a turnaround in how government, approach a lot of things. Of course, then you realize that the federal legislators, despite the challenges that we're facing, decided to buy cars of 160 million. And look at what the presidency budgeted for the renovation or building of houses for the president. I mean, I don't envy the APC right now. They're in a very bad place.
On that note, I say thank you so much for your time on the news. God bless Otubure, Global President ready to lead Africa.
Thank you for having me one more time.